Okay. Are you going to fucking work right now? Okay. Y'all, I think it was the music. I genuinely think it was the music. I'm so sorry. I've never had that happen to me before. Literally never had that happen to me before. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That has... I'm, like, embarrassed that that just happened. That... It was weird. Okay. Are you feeling better? I mean, I'm feeling a little, like, stressed right now. I didn't realize that kind of music would, like, do anything. I hope everyone kind of comes back. I'm gonna give it, like, 3 or 4 minutes, for people to try and, like, come back to stream. Yeah, no, that was really freaking weird. That has never happened to me while I've streamed, like, ever. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, it was probably the music, but, like, I guess I'm gonna have to mute if music comes up again. I've never gotten that kind of response. Let me, like, actually look at what... Due to copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Yeah, it was definitely the, You're fine, carry on. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the vidimajo. We got this. We're fine. We're back.
Part 2.
Let's go.
I am happy you're here. If you haven't watched part 1, hit pause because it sets up this whole series. It explains why I love YouTube
that
and
video.
also explores the effects of radicalization and anonymity.
That was completely
online.
out of nowhere.
If you haven't
Literally,
seen it,
I've never had YouTube do that to me. Not even in, like, my
sense.
actual videos. I don't
if you
think
have
I've
seen
ever
it,
gotten,
great.
like, a
Let's
copyright
dive
claim.
right in. Theme 3.
So let's go.
Scale. Do you like my shirt? In 2018, I published a video where I had a conversation with my mom over the phone about my gender and my desire to have top surgery. It was honestly a really sweet video.
It was a sweet video! Oh my god.
It's something that I've wanted to talk to you about for a while. So I guess it kind of comes in 2 parts. We'll start with the first one. The way that a lot of people and the way that I see gender is that it exists,
Let's go back
like on a spectrum. And
to the vid
I
this time,
don't exist all the way on one end of the spectrum. A word that you could use to, like, describe that, and a word that I've been using to describe that is the word trans. So the second thing, and probably the thing I'm just, like, a little bit more nervous to tell you, is that, oh, you got it. Yeah, you know.
This literally made me cry.
Yeah, but I think I want to go, like, all the way.
Aww. Oh my god, it was
And
such
while
a
the
cute
response
video.
was predominantly positive, it amassed over 13 million views. That was way bigger than any other video I had posted in my 7 years on the platform thus far. Now, as I explained in our earlier discussion about the radicalizing effect of YouTube's algorithm, I was already on the radar of some pretty intense groups. TERFs, anti-SJWs, etc. So don't get me wrong, I was no stranger to hate by this point. But virality certainly exacerbated that. It exposed me to a drastically broader audience. I actually did some math. Don't trust it though, I'm gay. And 13 million views is roughly 3,200% higher than what my videos were averaging at the time.
I'm pretty sure that, like, that was the very first video I saw of them, and that was the very first, like, non-binary representation I ever saw in my life. Like, them just being themselves was, like, the very first, like, I had never seen someone who wasn't on testosterone wanting to get top surgery, which is what I want to do. It literally validated so much of the feelings that I had, because I thought you had to be on T. Thought you had to be, like, super masculine for a very long time, because I watched Calvin Guerra and that was a mistake. I very much, I feel like I went really far into masculinity when, because like my whole life I had, you know, gone the complete other way to try to fit in. Didn't work, never worked. And so seeing Ash living how they just naturally are, like, it was such a big thing for a lot of people. And I just hate the fact that they got so much hate. And I did used to think somewhat negative things about them, because I used to be like, oh, they're not trying hard enough or whatever. You don't have to try to be your gender. You don't have to explain yourself to literally anyone. I'm so happy that I grew out of that, like, shitty, toxic, you have to prove that you're trans, because, like, it's not a good mindset to have. I know this is off topic from the video, but I just wanted to pop in and say thank you for your videos. I think you have a really big part in realizing I was non-binary. Thank you. Oh my god. I'm gonna cry. Thank you. Oh my god. I'm so happy you figured it out. And I'm happy to be just a small part in that. That's amazing. Trans and non-binary people seem to get so much hate, which is never right. It's not. Yeah, I feel like trying to be more masc is trying to validate yourself in clothes. Do not define your gender.
After sharing that phone call with my mom, my audience would almost double in a year. As a result, the number of transphobic eyes and comments on my content skyrocketed. I was no longer insulated inside that safe community that I had spent 7 years cultivating. Beyond attention from YouTube creators and commenters, I also faced coverage from traditional media. Most notably, this includes a feature in the Daily Mail and Christian Broadcasting Network.
Oh
CBN.
God, did they really get on that? Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's never been a civilization ever in history that has embraced homosexuality. Same-sex guys kissing.
But we're back.
You
Hell
like that?
yeah.
Well, that makes me want to throw up. You know what they do in San Francisco, some of the gay community, they want to get people, so if they've got the stuff, they'll have a ring, you shake hands, and the ring's got a little thing where you cut your finger.
Really? In appreciation for your support, Pat Robertson would like you to have his new 2-hour cassette series.
No thanks.
The Daily Mail splashed its false defamatory headline in giant text, which took up over 50% of the page's real estate, right by a photo of my face, nearly just as large. It read, I've seen girls who've changed gender groom younger ones to do the same, and in nearly every case, they are autistic. The article tells the story of a teacher concerned about the increasing number of teenagers identifying as trans in school.
They do realize that the reason that's happening is because people are more comfortable. I'm pretty sure I saw, I think it was an H3H3 podcast where he was kind of comparing the LGBTQ plus community to like people who are left-handed, because people who are left-handed used to get beat. And so when that was no longer happening, of course, more people were going to end up being left-handed because that's how they naturally are. And the same thing with being trans and being non-binary in any part of the LGBTQ plus community. Of course, more people are going to start identifying with certain labels and coming out as trans more when it's more accepted or they feel more comfortable in themselves.
A pretty thick layer of ableism, as the teacher explains her belief that it's unlikely that an autistic teen could truly understand something as complex as what it means to be trans.
There's literally, like, I know someone who works with people with, I don't want to say special needs or disabilities. I need to, like, upgrade my vocabulary, but she works with a lot of, like, kids that need more help. And there was this one girl who was nonverbal, and somehow they figured out that, like, using she, her pronouns and starting to have her wear, more traditionally femme clothes made her more comfortable and didn't have her lash out as much. And it's just like, it doesn't matter if that person is trans, that person's trans. It doesn't, you don't have to be fucking ableist and say that people with autism or, like, any other sort of that kind of thing don't know who they are. Like, it's just fucking rude. Christians always have something to say. Us gender fluid people or anyone on the spectrum get so much hate and gets invalidated a lot. It makes me feel so not real. Since I am gender fluid, I'm pretty sure I needed to look that up from last stream, but then I realized I'm valid and I don't care anymore. Honestly, I'm literally autistic and I don't even know what to say. I'm autistic. Oh my god, hi. I am most likely autistic and gender, I hope I'm saying it right, fluid. So people that say people like me are influenced or groomed makes me question myself. I hate it. I'm a Christian, so chill. Okay. I also have undiagnosed autism. The reason I am not getting it diagnosed, my therapist has told me I have autism, and I have autism. The reason I'm not getting an official diagnosis is because there are certain countries, if you try to move there, will not let you if you have certain mental health diagnoses, which if I ever have to leave this country, I do not want to have to deal with that. So I do tell people I have autism. I also have ADHD. So yeah, like, if anyone ever told me, oh, the only reason you think you're non-binary is because you're autistic, like, I would be like, shut the actual fuck up. You don't know me. You don't know the experiences I've had. You don't know what it's like to live in my body. Don't tell me what to do. You're literally being ableist.
Instead, the teacher theorizes that young people on the spectrum are easily influenced and latch onto ideas that distract them from the problems caused by autism. Why have these teenagers chosen transness as their coping mechanism of choice? According to this article, older students and YouTube stars model and prompt this. They make transness look cool, interesting, and they even seem happy.
Wow, that's crazy.
The column positions the teacher as a savior, speaking up just in the nick of time, describing her as concerned, devoted, and a whistleblower. The children, on the other hand, are victims in need of saving. They get words like vulnerable, exploited, brainwashed, and tricked. The villains of the story are YouTubers and older students who are convincing, persuasive, to blame, and groomers.
You know
and what weapon do these villains use? Trans identity and transition, which are characterized as mutilation, harmful, scandalous, a tragedy, a nightmare, an agenda, so on. You'll notice that the piece never directly accuses YouTubers or older students of inappropriate sexual behavior. But the pedophilic overtone and language used is so evocative of sexual predation that you can't help but, like, feel your skin crawl while reading. By the time you get to my mention, you are primed to see me as icky, sneaky, untrustworthy, and a deviant offender. Even though
you've literally
I can't seem to find my crime. Not explicitly, anyway. Later, we'll spend some more time unpacking the article's specific excerpt on me. Moving on from the Daily Mail, let's now talk about Christian Broadcasting Network.
This is CBN News Update, sponsored by Hidden Valley Ranch Salad Dressing.
Around the time I went viral, CBN aired a segment criticizing a Canadian school curriculum called SOGI 123. According to its website, SOGI 123 helps educators make schools safe and inclusive for students of all sexual orientations and gender identities. Some of the resources and recommendations that SOGI sets up for schools.
You know what I don't understand? I had a thought and I completely
include safety and harassment policies, guides for establishing GSAs, encouraging classrooms to display safe space stickers and to have LGBT plus resources on hand, and getting classrooms to think about moving beyond binary gender language.
Okay, that's what the thought was. I don't understand how they literally say, like, oh, think of the children, when, like, queer kids literally it's like a pretty decent amount more susceptible to depression and self-harm and, like, suicide ideation and, like, attempts. And it's like, you want to just think about the cis straight kids. You don't actually want to help kids. You're okay, you're valid, being autistic and non-binary. I am getting medically diagnosed for ADHD soon, so yeah, kind of excited, not gonna lie, because teachers are literally required to make accommodations if I do have it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why my therapist was like, oh, you might want to look into getting a autism official diagnosis. And then I was like, if it ever like started to like where I needed accommodations, I would get diagnosed officially. But like I said, if I want to leave this country at some point,
i.e. instead of saying boys and girls, try everyone, class, students. I mean, that doesn't sound so bad to me.
That's not bad.
It actually sounds kind of awesome. Am I wrong? CBN would seem to think so. They don't mention any of that, and instead they characterize Soji as
a radical sex ed curriculum being pushed in public schools by the LGBT community has parents afraid their children will become confused and even brainwashed.
A curriculum that teaches public school students across Canada to celebrate the homosexual lifestyle. Carrie Simpson of Culture Guard calls the curriculum nothing short of child abuse. She sees Soji's real goal as
altering our culture from a heteronormative society into one where anything goes, no boundaries, no values, no morals. It's a hedonistic cult.
This is very scary stuff.
Pastor Kevin believes Canadian Christians are in a 2 Chronicles 20 moment. He says Satan is going after their most vulnerable, the children.
Sorry, this is ridiculous.
Is beginning to prepare for what it takes to fight for our kids.
And CBN took special issue with the trans.
How about you go up to the Catholic Church and demand all the names? Actually, I'm pretty sure all of the names of priests who have had sexual misconduct are available. Like, I would be more pressed about that if I was thinking of the children. In high school, the older students really did help me understand my gender. They were first to support me. I love them for that. Literally. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's literally, think of the children because God knows we're not going to. Oh my God, that's literally beautiful. Average homophobes. Like, I told my best friends that I was aro ace and I still don't feel totally comfortable and supported from them. But I feel safe with the upperclassmen. We live in a society. At least you feel safe with someone. Like, I'm really sorry that they haven't supported you as much. But it is good to get support from someone. This is a community as much as America is a country, mainly in name and foreign diplomacy, but you will find fractions, smaller and smaller groups within them. Literally, all it does is teach acceptance, which I don't think is anything wrong. Like, I have such a problem with nothing was happening. Nothing. Okay. Yo. Okay, we're done. Okay.